good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gents. This is your boy Casanova from Orlando, Florida, on this awesome international podcast, Good Wine and Great Laughs, the podcast for wine lovers and great topics, ladies and gents. So I am Casanova. Welcome to Casa Casanova. If you're your first time watching my YouTube channel, if you're new to my YouTube channel, that's what I do every Saturday morning, a wine of the day, followed by the discussion of the topic of the day, ladies and gents. So if you like wine and if you like hot topics, this YouTube channel is for you. If you like the work that I do, ladies and gents, I appreciate it if you click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, and share this video for all your family and friends. Ladies and gents, I appreciate your support. All right, ladies and gents, and today is Saturday, January 11, 2025, and the weather here in Orlandito will be with mostly cloudy, highs of 61, lows of 41 late at night. Ladies and gents, and before I start talking about the topic of the day, I have to talk about the wine of the day, ladies and gents. So there's another, I had have this brand before. It's called the Wildfires, Sea View, translate from French to English, CSEA, View. That's what this wine is all about. I believe it was a white wine that I have before, this brand right here. But today, we're going to have a Pinot Noir. And according to the information in the back, says Wildfires or Sea View refers to the coastal vineyards near Montpellier on the Mediterranean Sea where this wine originates. The maritime climate long sunny days assist in making a perfectly balanced wine for everyday enjoyment. Santé. Alcohol percent of this wine, ladies and gents, is 13%. Once again, this is a product of France, and say here is containing sulfites. About to open this wine right now to see what the Wildfires is all about. And like I always do, every Saturday morning, ladies and gents, the picture of this wine right here is going to be available on all my social medias. Feel free to take a look at it. Going to take to your local wine store. It's very light and balanced Pinot Noir, ladies and gents. I do like it. I'll give a 9 for this wine right here. And definitely, this wine make the cut. Should be on my wine collection. Excuse me. Once again, the picture is going to be available on my social medias. If you like to take a look at it, take to a wine store. And if you drink any of the wines that I present here, ladies, do me a favor, just make a comment right here on any of my social medias where I see the picture, or right here on my YouTube channel, and let me know what you think. All right, ladies and gents, first of all, I want to give credits to BBC News and Democracy Now! About today's video that we're going to start watching shortly. And the topic of the day today for season 10, episode 2, is a terrible wildfire devastation in California in 2025. And after the videos, like I always do, I'll give my 2 cents at the end of the video presentation. So now it is show time.
Massive wildfires continue to burn out of control around Los Angeles, with more high winds forecast into tomorrow. Almost 180,000 people have been ordered to leave their homes so far. And this is what the flames are leaving behind.
Damn.
Entire neighborhoods completely destroyed, everything gone. Only the charred remains of trees have been left standing. The first fire to erupt was on Tuesday in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood. It spread rapidly. Look at how fast it moved in just 5 hours. It now covers more than 17,000 acres of land. That blaze alone is now one of the most destructive natural disasters in the history of LA. There are still 5 fires alight around the city. 2 of them, the Palisades and Hearst fires, are still 0% contained. They're out of control. You can see from this time lapse of the Palisades fire just how quickly it spread, fanned by hurricane force winds. And this is another neighborhood, Altadena. This satellite imagery shows the homes and buildings street after street completely engulfed. 5 people are known to have died, but the LA sheriff says that number will rise. Well, let's go straight to our correspondent Emma Vardy, who is in LA. Emma.
Well, fire crews are now into their 3rd day of fighting fires on many fronts, and authorities are beginning to look into what started them. Arson investigators, we're told, are now part of this, but authorities haven't drawn any firm conclusions just yet. Today, the fire's growth has been slowed down, but still, many parts of this city will never look the same again.
My goodness.
Still they burn. The most catastrophic fires Los Angeles has ever seen. Overnight, the Hollywood Hills resembling a disaster movie, a huge crescent of flame engulfing an iconic community of California. More than 130,000 people have been told to evacuate their homes. Here, just one of many properties engulfed, turned to a shell. At least 5 major fires have been burning across Los Angeles County. The scale and spread has stretched firefighting crews on the ground and in the air. 16,000 acres and counting consumed by the inferno. One street filmed by a local resident moments before he left.
I thought maybe I would be able to get some extra stuff that we didn't take, and come to see that the whole street is just gone. It's like a war zone. And we had so many memories in here that cannot be replaced. I had these great old pictures of my grandfather from World War II, both grandfathers, and I was going to get them framed, and now they're gone and they're lost. And I had so many things that are just lost forever. It just, I know we're safe, but I don't understand.
The scale of this disaster is clear to see. This is Pacific Palisades, block after block, a blanket of destruction.
Jeez.
More than 1,000 buildings burned in this community alone. Emergency services unable to save them.
We had everything, like the sentimental things, like my mom passed away, I had only a few things of hers left. My wedding dress, our wedding album, we left everything, our albums, we have just whatever we're wearing the same thing for the last 2 days.
Copy that.
Fueled by hurricane force winds, these fires have struck at a vulnerable time. LA hasn't seen any significant rainfall for months. Abandoned neighborhoods are now falling prey to crime.
In the midst of the emergency, we've all seen individuals who are targeting vulnerable communities by burglarizing and looting homes. This is simply unacceptable.
Right.
As dawn came in the Palisades, it revealed the grim reality of what the fire has left behind.
There are miles and miles of streets like this, an utter shock at the devastation here. Communities just vanished, now ghost towns, and once dream homes turned to dust.
No one is immune. mansions now ash. The homes of Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler and Paris Hilton among those evacuated. And this was filmed by the wife of Take That star Mark Owen as they escaped through the flames. Some are returning to the ruins to see what remains. A scene that will be repeated in this ravaged city over the coming days. Emma Vardy, BBC News, Los Angeles.
President Biden has just described the LA fires as the most devastating in California's history. Have a look at these before and after images of the destruction that the flames have left behind. This was someone's home in Altadena, and this is what it looks like now. North of there, the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center has been completely gutted. And this business in the Pacific Palisades, where the largest fire is still burning, was not spared either. Our correspondent John Sudworth has been to the Palisades and spoken to some of those people who have been affected.
Late into the night, we watch one of America's wealthiest neighborhoods burn. The flames so intense, the fire crews are powerless to stop them. So if I very quickly take my mask off, the air is absolutely thick with smoke. The fire crews here tell us they have a shortage of water, and in many instances they're having to stand and watch these properties burn. It is a losing battle. They're using what little they have sparingly, trying to contain the spread. Defying the evacuation orders, some residents are defending their own homes. With all the surrounding properties burning, I helped Tony and his neighbours scooping water out of the swimming pool and dousing the flames at their boundary.
Since 1993, I've seen a couple of fires, but nothing like this. I wouldn't see this in my nightmare.
I never thought it would come through here.
David was hoping his home might have survived. But the whole neighbourhood has gone. And with it, his house too.
I would have thought I'd be seeing more planes flying over with water. I mean, there appears to be just 2. I mean, in California, are there not like 20 or 30 of them? They could have got you already. I would have thought the firemen would like take a stand on a certain area. Maybe they did, and I'm just not seeing it, but...
Wealth and privilege are no protection from this disaster, with the ordinary human defences rendered futile in the face of its devastating force. John Sudworth, BBC News, Pacific Palisades.
Well, almost 180,000 people have been told to evacuate. A further 200,000 LA residents are under evacuation warnings, which means they may have to flee at a moment's notice. What happens to all those people who have lost their homes, lost everything? Where do they go? Well, many of them have made their way to evacuation centres like this one in Pasadena. John Sudworth is at another centre in Westwood near Beverly Hills. He joins us now. John.
Well, Sophie, this particular evacuation centre has taken more than 200 people sleeping in this building here last night, catering provided by the Salvation Army. And of course, for lots of those people, having seen their homes burned, there is nowhere else to turn. One of those people is Marina. Marina is from Ukraine. She only arrived in America 4 months ago as part of a program that has brought thousands of Ukrainians to America. Marina, tell me what happened to you yesterday.
Well, it was a windy morning. I left from my home to work, and I saw the little smoke near my hood, but I don't think that it was something would be big. So when I trying to came home after 5 hours, I saw that the road were closed and too many fire departments and police's car, and I started worried. And then I just came back to Santa Monica Pier just to watch what happened there, because everything were in smoke, and I saw the fire flames, and they were so big. And then I just saw like the place where's my house built, where's my build situated, it's burning, and there's burning everything, like the cars and nature and houses and mine. So I just lost everything because I just went to the work like that, and I don't have anything, documents, nothing. So it's very terrible story.
You've only been in America for 4 months. You came here escaping the disaster of the war in Ukraine. What will happen to you next now?
Actually, I don't know, but the only way can I say that I will not give up. So I just try to move on and start my life again. That's it.
Marina, thank you for talking to us. We wish you all the best in these very difficult circumstances. Sophie, we've seen all day today volunteers turning up here, bringing food and supplies. With a disaster like this, of course, everybody in this city knows somebody who's been affected.
John, thank you. Well, there have been some incredible stories of rescues and bravery as people fled their homes, and many neighbourhoods now look like this, completely deserted. For block after block, houses completely destroyed. Many of the people who have escaped have been talking about the speed with which the fires have been spreading, including Aaron Sampson, who helped his father-in-law get out. Here is their story.
We've just been evacuated. We've just been evacuated from this Good Samaritan's car. You got it, Dad. We're having to walk. This is crazy. There's a fire right outside our car. We got it. No, not that way, Dad.
My father-in-law has Parkinson's. He can barely move. This was a heroic effort on his part.
It's very wobbly. Here, let me try to get you.
Which way are you going?
This way, Dad, to the sidewalk.
I went outside. I saw smoke and fire near my father-in-law's house and realized we need to go. The problem is we didn't have a car. By circumstance, we had no car in the house. I ran up and down the street where he was, Glen Haven, finally found a neighbor who was willing to swing by and pick us up. Most people had already gone at that point, and at that point I grabbed his medicine. That's the only thing I could think to grab.
Turn around, Dad, we got this.
And at that point we jumped in his car. This guy Jeff, a neighbor we'd never met before, but salt of the earth, saved our lives. As we're driving down, there's fires on both sides of the car. We're driving, we're suddenly seeing fires, you could feel the heat, and then the fires were getting closer and closer. And at that point, just being stuck there, surrounded by fire, the policemen started running up the street, "Get out of the car, get out of the car," and started screaming. You don't really realize how serious it is. You don't think this is a life-threatening situation.
Aaron Sampson's story there, escaping with his father. In the last few moments, President Biden has been speaking about the fires. This is what he's had to say.
To the firefighters, first responders, you really are, it's not hyperbole, it's you're heroes. You're genuinely heroes. And the worst, this is the most widespread, devastating fire in California's history. It's amazing.
Let's join Emma Vardy, who is in Pacific Palisades. And Emma, the president there speaking about the worst fires in California's history. The fires are still burning, but thoughts are also turning to what happens now. How do you start rebuilding any of this?
People are gradually returning to scenes like this where there is absolutely nothing for them left. We've been witnessing the wreckage all around us. There's the melted metal of burnt cars, just pieces of people's possessions that you can make out on the floor. And then every now and again a house has been spared the flames, as miraculously is still standing. But in abandoned neighbourhoods like this, looting has now become an issue. Police say they've made 20 arrests for looting. They've stepped up patrols. They're warning people coming back into these areas that they will clamp down on looting very seriously. Now, there have been reported 5 deaths so far in these fires, but we know that investigators are currently examining other human remains that have been found in burnt-out properties, so that number may well rise. And of course, while this is all still going on the ground, the questions for political leaders have begun. Questions over cuts to fire budgets, over whether California was prepared enough for a natural disaster like this, because it's clear that the road to recovery for LA is going to be a very long one.
Jesus Christ.
We begin today's show looking at the devastating fires in Los Angeles, where at least 10 people have died. More than 10,000 homes and offices have been damaged or destroyed. Entire neighborhoods have burned down. The death toll is expected to rise. More than 35,000 acres have already burned. The fires continue to burn due to high winds and dry conditions. The largest blaze, the Palisades fire, is just 6% contained. The Eaton fire near Pasadena remains 0% contained. Analysts project the cost of the fires may reach a record $150 billion. The climate-fueled fires come as scientists at the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service have confirmed last year was by far the hottest year on record, with global temperatures exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial times for the first time. We're joined now by Peter Kalmus, climate activist, climate scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab. He's speaking on his own behalf, not on behalf of NASA. He's just written an opinion essay for the New York Times headlined, "I'm a Climate Scientist. I fled Los Angeles 2 years ago." He joins us now from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Peter, thanks so much for joining us today. Explain why you fled Los Angeles 2 years ago.
Amy, I just have to take a moment to, I don't know what to say anymore. I'll get to that in a second, but I just want to make sure. The reason I wrote the piece was because we have to acknowledge that this is caused by the fossil fuel industry, which has been lying for almost half a century, blocking action. They're on the record saying that they will continue to spread disinformation and continue to attempt to block action. They've known the whole time that the planet would get hotter like this and that impacts like this fire would happen. And then a point I really wanted to make in the piece, which they wouldn't let me make, is that this is still just the beginning. It's going to get way worse than this. 2 years ago, 2020, when that Bobcat fire happened, the whole time I was living in Altadena, it was getting hotter and more fiery and drier and smokier, and it just didn't feel like I could stay there. Like I could, when you have a trend line, things getting worse every year, right? Like, where's the point where it breaks? Like you keep going, you keep pushing the system, getting hotter and hotter, getting drier and drier, right? Like emitting more and more carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels. Eventually things break. I didn't expect my neighborhood to burn this soon.
Explain what's happened, Peter, in Altadena, in the town that you left.
It's complete devastation. I mean, your audience probably has seen some of the images. The neighborhood I lived it's gone. I would say the majority of my friends have lost their homes there. Every now and then there's a home that's still standing amidst the ashes and the devastation. I don't even know what kind of rebuilding after this is going to look like and feel like. I don't know how this is going to affect the housing market, the insurance industry going forward. It's the thing, again, I think everyone needs to understand, and I wish the New York Times would have let me make this point, that this is going to get worse. I can see that today just as clearly as I could see how hotter and drier and more fiery Los Angeles was getting. I mean, I think in the future, if we don't change course very quickly, and maybe it's even too late to avoid some of these much more catastrophic impacts, but I'm fully expecting heat waves to start appearing where 100,000 people die, and then maybe 1 million people die, and then maybe more after that as things get hotter and hotter, because there's no upper limit, right? Like, we keep burning these fossil fuels, fossil fuel industry keeps lying, the planet just keeps getting hotter, these impacts just keep getting worse. It's not the new normal. A lot of climate messaging centers around this idea that it's a new normal. It's a staircase to a hotter, more hellish Earth. And a lot of climate impact predictions have erred on the side of least drama. It's hard for even scientists to wrap our heads around how everything is changing right now on planet Earth. No matter where you look, the indicators, when spring comes, how hot the winter is, habitats that are moving, ice that's melting. Everywhere you look in the Earth system, including, of course, ocean temperatures and land surface temperatures, you're just on this trend towards a hotter planet and all of the impacts that are associated with it. And I don't know what it's going to take for us to stop all these stupid wars and come together and actually deal with the emergency that our planet is in the process of becoming less and less habitable and everything that means. We humanity, we've got a real crisis here, and we're ignoring it. Another paragraph they took out of the piece, both the Democratic presidents, Obama and President Biden, they were very proud to expand fossil fuels. President Obama said, all of that oil and gas expansion, that was me, people, right after he was done being president at a lecture he gave at Rice University. And now, of course, we have a Republican president coming into office who says this is a hoax, who's gaslighting the people who are following him. I don't know how long it's going to take for conservative working class people to believe what's right in front of their eyes, that the planet is getting hotter, and that we have to come together and stop listening to these clowns who say it's a hoax. I mean, look at it's all around us. Why do I have to be on Democracy Now! Saying this? It's very obvious what's happening.
Well, Peter, we thank you for being with us. We're so sorry about what's happening there in your community and all over Los Angeles. And of course, we're talking about a heating world, so around the world, and we hope to have you on next week. Peter Kalmus is
my heart breaks for all the victims too. It's just, I can't wrap my head around what's happening.
Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give today at democracynow.org/give.
And ladies and gents, as we watch these two videos right here, it's really, really sad what's going on in California. I can just make a comparison as far natural disaster is concerned. I live in Florida, as everybody know, Orlando, Florida. That's my podcast is from. That's my residence right here in Orlando. And every year between June to November, you're going to the hurricane season. So I'm just making a comparison as far as natural disaster and how I prepare. I have a full insurance on this place right here. I have a good policy in case something happens. I get a $50,000 check to take care of what I need. So, and I have a case. I have all my documents already good to go, because if something happened that I need to evacuate, all I will grab, I could care less about the clothes, or maybe if we have a plan of time, because hurricane say, hey, it's come 2-3 days, the government say, hey, you need to evacuate, if I'm free from my job and have days off, I can't get out of here. That happened before. I pack my stuff, I got a bag full of clothes for maybe a week, just in case, my documents, and I'm out. Anything else as far TV, furniture, I'm not concerned about that, because I know if something happens in this place right here, the check's gonna hit my account and I can replace it. I have no problem with that. So main pictures, everything else is everything that I know, sentimental value, I know how to get it, put it in my car and be out. Now, when the last hurricane that we have here in Florida, that's supposed to come in Orlando, that's supposed to come to hit Orlando, what I did, I make a comment before, I went to the airport, the building garage, and I parked my car over there for 2-3 days. I paid, about $60 in parking fee, even though my car is full full insured, I just, when since natural disaster, it take a long time for the insurance company to process, everything else. So even though it's full insured, I don't want to go to the headache. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I rather pay $60 extra, and I know for sure that my car is safe. I went there, got my car, and came right back. And everything in my apartment was okay. So that's my plan as far natural disasters is concerned that happen in Ireland. Now, fires is a different beast, but I just can relate a little bit. And first time when I heard that about all this car hip, so why people take it forever? But I understand because in the last minute, because fire, is from here, but the wind is blowing and then it changes real quick. So that's why you're going to see like a lot of cars over here, and people cannot move because there's too many. The flux of the car in a certain short period of time, maybe people being stuck over there. Traffic is bad, so the best thing to do is get out of the car and leave if you want to survive. If you're concerned about the car, might as well go to burn with your car. So your life is more important. People left. And then I saw another video that did not play, but on the news that they have the bulldozer, big trucks move the cars away, pushing away to make it clear for the fire trucks to have access there. Another thing I was thinking about for the houses, that's one thing that I'm not a firefighter. I'm just thinking. Now for the house, of course, if you're in the land, further away from the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, you don't have access because everybody knows California has a very short water supply. Every time it's come here, it's always short of water. But I was thinking about the coastline. If we don't have any way from the future that the firefighters or the city can pump the water from the sea and have some kind of reservoir close by, so you have the sea water supply to fight the fire. That's the thing. I'm not a specialist, just something things I was watching, the video that I was watching, and the things that was coming up in my mind right now. Sad part of it. And another thing too that pissed me off, you can see that the good and the bad of humanity. Some good people get together, help the people that do not know, because another human being helping another human being in a time of need. That's the best part of society, but at the same time, the worst part of society is the people that try to take advantage and go in people's house and try to steal what they got and why they evacuated. This is really sad. Which part of kind of human being are you? It's disgraceful. There's no comment about that. How do you sleep at night? You have no conscience, basically. If you sleep at night with and happy and laughing that, oh yes, Tyrone evacuated, so let me break in his house and see what he got so I can steal it. And you're sleeping and not laughing and thinking, you're a terrible human being. You're a disgrace. You're the scum of the earth, in my point of view. People going through troubles and like that, they're about to lose everything. And you just try to steal from them. Now when it comes to the Palisade, I believe the neighborhood, there's a lot of wealthy people. You can maybe say, hey, guys, being a little bit harsh on them. It's a bunch of wealth and privileged people. I'm not saying that they are also human beings, but their house may burn out, but their bank account not. So if the Paris Hilton and other celebrities that lost, they are more likely, of course, they have insurance. And more likely, they are not worried about where they're going to stay. Because Paris Hilton has no parents, father is the Hilton Hotel. So she got plenty of place to stay. That's number one. And number two, she got money to buy another house in another place else. And then get the money back from insurance after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm more concerned about the everyday Joe that basically lost everything. Now there's a bank account is $5. That's my concern more. I'm not saying that one life is more value than another. That's not my point. I'm talking about as far as rebuilding and places for you to recover. And like I said, Paris Hilton, there's plenty of hotels. She can fly anywhere she wanna out of California, and she'll be all right. Meanwhile, like I say, Joe Blow right there, that has a 9-to-5 job working for 30 to 40 years. The little house that he had, now everything's gone. And there's no money in his bank account for him to put in a hotel or his family, kids, and everything. That's the main point of my conversation. It is sad, but you live in America, this is all about greed, Now we're going to have 4 years of a president that he go again, There's a hoax and nothing's real. The millionaires and billionaires are going to be fine. Meanwhile, the populace is going to suffer. That's the reality of the book. If you vote for him, take like a champ. I already know what's coming. I'm not even paying attention too much because it's going to be the same shenanigans that we had before. In the first administration is going to be even worse in my point of view. Because and I will see all these people that vote for Trump, they're going to cry and suffering. Well, Tiger. I am prepared for the shit show in the fuck factory that's about to hit the fan. No, I'm not surprised with the stupidity that's making the Gulf of America right now, and all this. Let's buy Greenland and let's sell this, let's sell Puerto Rico, whatever the bullshit that he's going to come out of his mouth. I'm not even giving 2 cents about it. We're going to be 4 years of more shit show. That's what I'm saying. But if you vote for him, so don't complain about it. Just take like a champ. That's what I'm going to say. But I pray for the families over there that are going through some terrible, terrible moments. 2025, like I said, my first episode was the shooting, right? 3 hours. Not the shooting, the guy that went to the truck and started killing people and then got out of the truck, started shooting the Army veteran. They have some other shootings going on. It's just like embrace for impact. This now, another thing, so you come to the East Coast, all this snow in the South Atlantic, Kentucky, Virginia, getting a pounding of the snow. Meanwhile, that's not a drop. Now, let that snow move that snow from here and then Heavenly Father and dump right there in California so can extinguish all those crazy fires. And so that's the podcast of the day, ladies and gents. If you like this video, if you like what I do, please click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, share these videos with your family and friends. I have a lot of videos available for you on YouTube, and also if you go to Spotify or Amazon Music, go to Apple Podcasts, you're going to see all the work that I have done for the past. It's going to be 5 years in August that I'm doing this podcast. And so once again, please be safe, be kind, and be blessed, and do the best what you can do with what you got. Salute. And I'll see you next Saturday with another awesome podcast topic and another awesome good wine. Holla!
pusher on the block. Holding my down, sucker rappers get lost. Coming from the bottom, moving straight to the top.